Hi, here to talk to you about water today. Water as relates to the United States. What I'd like to talk about are the oceans, the lakes, and the rivers, the major lakes and major rivers that are part of the United States. As we know, the Atlantic Ocean is over here. It's just right off Florida here, and if you went to Cocoa Beach and went for a swim, you'd be swimming in the Atlantic Ocean. Now, if you went the other way and went over here to Tampa or Bradenton or Sarasota, St. Petersburg, you'd be on the Gulf of Mexico, which is part of the Atlantic Ocean. It connects to the Atlantic Ocean, but is a different part that stretches all the way to Texas and Mexico here, called the Gulf of Mexico. As I mentioned the other day, the other big ocean that we have on our shores is the Pacific Ocean, which is over here on our western shore, our western coast. The big, great big Pacific Ocean is here and stretches all the way up to Alaska. The other ocean that touches the United States is the Arctic Ocean, which of course is on the north side of Alaska. And so let's talk now a little bit about some of the lakes in the country. There's some really big lakes here in the United States. And on the United States-Canadian border, there are 5 lakes called the Great Lakes that are some of the biggest freshwater lakes in the entire world. They were carved out of glaciers, and they're so big that you can't see across them. Most lakes you go to, you can see the other side, see the shore. You can't see the other side with these lakes. They're so big, even across, that you can't see all the way across. Lake Superior is up here. It's off Minnesota and Wisconsin near Canada. It's here. You've got Lake Michigan running up here from Chicago up here. And then you've got Lake Huron over here on the other side of Michigan. And then Lake Erie runs up here and actually pours into Lake Ontario over something called Niagara Falls, which you probably heard of. And that's right here where Lake Erie dumps into Lake Ontario. Lake Ontario then runs up here and turns into the St. Lawrence River, which runs right on up into the Atlantic Ocean. And that's quite a big seaway because a lot of iron ore and a lot of other products are shipped from the Midwest to other countries out that St. Lawrence Seaway. Okay, the other big lake that I think is interesting in the United States is called the Great Salt Lake. Here, it's in Utah. And it is a salt lake. It's not a freshwater lake, right here in northern Utah. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about rivers. Rivers, the major rivers, I think everybody's heard of the Mississippi River. The Mississippi River starts here in Minnesota and runs down the middle of the country here, coming out here near New Orleans, out into the Gulf of Mexico. And there are 2 big rivers that run into the Mississippi River that are quite significant as well. One is the Ohio River, which starts here in Pittsburgh and runs down here on the southern side of Ohio, the northern side of Kentucky, along Indiana and Illinois, into the Mississippi River. The other river is the Missouri River. And the Missouri River starts way out here in Montana and runs all the way this way into the Mississippi River. The Missouri River is the longest river in the United States. Now, other rivers of significance, there's one called the Colorado River, which starts in Colorado, runs down this way, actually into Mexico, and then the Columbia River runs this way between Washington and Oregon and comes out here onto the Pacific. So those are the rivers, the major rivers and lakes and oceans that affect us.